Hi, today we're going to learn how to play Aqua ROVE. Now, a couple things. This is going to be published by Button Shy Games, and it's a solo game. This game here is a preview copy for the Kickstarter that's coming out. In the description below there, I'm going to put a link to their Kickstarter, and if you watch this video later on, please go out to Button Shy's website and you can order it from there. Now, this game is going to be all about trying to complete 7 missions by the end of the game, and using your limited resources and your puzzly skilled mind to figure out how to finish all these patterns that are on each of these missions. Let's go ahead down to the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Aqua ROVE. All right, so this is Aqua ROVE. Sometimes even the familiar can be alien. As a ROVE, results-oriented versatile explorer, you are accustomed to the rigors of space, but the impenetrable darkness of the ocean depths is a brand new challenge to confront. Now, the components for the game, you're going to have these 6 module cards, and you're also going to have these 12 mission cards. Now, these module cards will be 2-sided. This is going to be the unused side with the special ability, and this is going to be the used side. And these mission cards will also be 2-sided. This is going to be a mission you complete. This is going to be an action you can take. I'm going to go over those in a minute. Setup for the game is pretty simple. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle up these module cards, and then you're going to place them in a 2x6 grid. So like so here. All right. Then you're going to shuffle the mission / movement cards together. Once you have those shuffled, you set them right here. You're going to draw 5 cards. Now, this is going to be for a starting normal difficulty game. If you want to go have a hard game, you're going to go down to 4 cards here. If you want to go to an impossible game, you're going to go down to 3 cards. So these are going to be the 5 cards that I have available to play throughout the entire game, and these are going to be the deck of the missions that I have to complete. I'm going to set up a mission right here to start. These ones will stay on the side, but this is the first one that I need to complete. All right, so the game is set up now. What is the objective? Well, the objective is to complete 7 of these missions. You're going to have one of these set out, and they're going to be things that you have to complete before you can move on to the next mission. And again, you're going to try to complete 7 of these. In this case, there's going to be a couple things we're going to look at. One is going to be the specific cards that have to be in a location, and these are the non-specific cards that have to be in this location. So this is the shape that we need to make. We need to have this card and this card to be here and here, and then the other 4 cards need to be on the bottom. And we're going to try to do this in the least amount of movement as possible, because as we move, we're going to be spending these cards, and we only get 1 card back every time we complete a mission. So in a perfect world, we were only going to want to use 1 card to be able to complete this mission. Now, that's not always the case. You also have special abilities on these cards that you can use. For example, this one here gives you +2 movement points. So you get +2 movement points. And you flip this over, this shows that that was already used. Now, in general, you're going to try to match these patterns, but these cards here, which we're going to have to move these out of the way here, but these cards here can move any space in one direction as long as they're still adjacent to another piece. So this one can go here, it can go diagonal here, can't go here, and it can go here. So they have to be able to be still adjacent to another module on here when you're moving them. And if you're not spending movement points like on the ability card, you're going to have to follow these cards here. So like this card right here says you can move any number of spaces in one direction shown. And you may pass over other modules. Now, the any number of spaces are going to be here too. Now, you could get a bonus movement, and this is going to be if these 2 are adjacent. So this purple and this orange, and they are adjacent. So you would get a +1 here, meaning they could be diagonally adjacent. This one, you can only move horizontally or vertically over other modules if you want, but up to 3 spaces. You can't land on a module, so I can't do that. I can't be on top of a module, have to go past a module. Now there's a couple other ones in here. There's ones with these little circles on it. This one, you can only move one space in the direction shown. So you're only up to move one space. Now you can have up to 3 movements with that, but you can only move one space each direction there. The last one's going to have little bars on it, like this one right here. And this one, you can move one direction shown. If you move into a module, you may push it one space in the same direction. Each pushed module will push any that they move into as well. So if I want to move over one, I can push this module here. All right, so that's going to be movement. So this is going to be the pattern that's required. Once we meet this pattern, we immediately finish it, and we get to put another one on. And we're going to put it like this so that it's going to show a pattern as the game goes by. So the key in this game is going to try to see what modules you have adjacent, like here, to get your +1 movement, and figure out how you're going to move them over here. So this one's sort of in place, and this one's sort of in place. You're going to pick one that's going to be your anchor, and you're going to try to complete this solo puzzle here. Now, just as an example, we're going to need to move a lot in here, and since these are currently adjacent, right? Let me see, yeah, adjacent, we get the +1 movement, so this is going to be 5 movement here. And this is going to be pushing movement. Do I want to do that? Well, I think I do, because I have a lot of movement, and I need a lot of movement. So let's see what I need to do to get this going here. So this guy, we're going to say, he needs to move over one. These need to move down. I really need to have these guys adjacent to each other. Yeah. So notice they're diagonally adjacent. That does count. So let's do this one. It gives us 4 movement. I think this is going to be more appropriate. We're going to move. We're going to set this one as our anchor. So we're trying to finish this. So we'll move this one here. So that's 1 movement, 2, 3 movement, and 4 movement. So now this card is spent. It's going to go into the discard pile here. So I'll just place the discard pile over here. All right. So now we're still not meeting that pattern, and we might need to spend another card. I'm not sure if we want to do that. We need to have, so with this pattern, we have 1 card here and another card here. So these 2 cards need to move down. Now, if you look at some of these, you can discard 1 movement card, then draw 2. That might be useful. Here we can get +2 movement. That one might be useful. Here we can swap 2 modules. That's not useful right now. Here we can reposition a spent module to be adjacent to an unspent one. We can place an adjacent module in any row in a valid position. We might not move that guy, or maybe we thought that guy a little differently, but that one will be useful right now. Ignore one of the current mission module requirements. We might do that. So I don't think we want to use these cards. Oh my, we're going to... So are anything adjacent that we can actually use? So these guys are adjacent, so we could get 4 movement out of this card. So if we got 4 movement out of this card, we could do 1, 2, 3, 4. That would put it in space. And then we could flip this card to ignore one of the requirements, which will be this one. So that one will still hang out in nowhere land. And then we've completed that quest, and we go on to the next one. We'll set it right here. And now we need to make this shape. So we have this sort of in the right place. These 2 need to swap. And then we're not looking too bad. This needs to come down. This needs to come over. We do get 1 card for completing the mission. So now we're down to 4. So you can see where this could be a problem as you're running out of cards as time goes by. All right, one quick notification here is you only draw up after you complete a mission if you have fewer than 5 cards. In the rare situation that you have 5 cards, you wouldn't draw for completing a mission. Now, to win the game, you're going to simply need to get your 7th mission completed. Once you do, you win the game. Otherwise, you lose. And you're going to lose the game when you run out of cards and abilities to move these things into place to complete these patterns. And that is how you play Aqua ROVE. Thank you for watching.